of the show. We're talking to Miss Minty Ballard, and the topic is the African-American female in corporate America. And of course, Miss Ballard, before we had our first commercial break, we promised that when we came back, we would give you an opportunity to talk about your work day in corporate America and to allow you to use that as a springboard to talk about some of the other things that you think that our audience ought to be familiar with or ought to know. And let's do that by having you start us off there.
Okay, well, usually my morning starts at 5:30. I have a son who gets me up to walk as he runs. And so when I get into the office, I'm really ready to go. And I think the most important thing for me in my day is my assistant because I do have such a busy day. And literally running an accounts payable department or an accounting department where you service all of the corporation, you cannot always anticipate the demands. So therefore, it's important to have a good assistant who can screen your calls, set up your meetings, and literally move me throughout the day. Along with that, I have a team of 5 managers who manage the day-to-day. And typically on a Monday morning, we'll start out with a Monday morning meeting to plan the week as much as we can. And basically, a lot of our day is impromptu. Someone always wants something. And therefore, I try to make sure that I delegate appropriately, explain what the tasks need to be for that week, or if there are any major projects, any of those things. And as much as possible, try not to interrupt my management team so that they can deal with the day-to-day issues, and then I can deal with the strategic business of figuring out where we want to go, what we want to do, and trying to become the most efficient shop around. We do have many times we meet with some of my peers so that we can keep a hand on the what's really new and up and coming in the industry itself. And you know, we work through our team. We organized the staff into teams, and we really have, we're fortunate to be in this area because we do have a lot of talent, and I have really a diverse group of staff. I don't just have all college graduates. We have a mixture of who can do the job. And they are really pretty well versed in being able to handle the day-to-day and giving them some empowerment. I think it makes it nice to have people want to come into the office. I do pride myself into the fact that I think that I do have people who come to work because they want to. I don't want someone coming in because it's just a job. They're not going to contribute. And when people really get to the point where they don't feel that they can produce, then hopefully I have an open door policy that they can talk about it. We have different levels that they can aspire to, so that when people are coming in from a junior perspective to senior levels to specialist, and we've developed that over the years just so that, because we are a flat organization, so you don't always come into a market where you're going to go up the ladder that quickly. So you have to look for other opportunity within
the organization,
which is basically even within the shop. Learn all the tasks, and again, I tell anyone that that's what you need to do. Know your business, because that's what helps you as an African American female, anyone who's working in corporate America, because it's fast, and sometimes you do deal with all the politics. But if you know your craft, and if you just stick to being true to that, then you can sometimes kind of weed out some of those other things that would just absolutely drive you crazy, because again, you're not always going to get the promotions when you think you should. You're not going to be, the money can be but so much. So you really have to sometimes find other things that will really make you feel I'm making a contribution. And I would tell anyone, if you feel that you're getting to the point where you are no longer contributing, or you're not getting from the job what you need to move on. And you really need to be realistic to do that. So basically, I have an open door policy. We do a lot of things with the staff. We have a bowling league there. We have different outings. We do things so that we're interactive, and hopefully so that people could know that you're not only just the person in the corner who makes the decisions. And it's important for me to be out and talking with them, because a lot of times, they're doing the work. Some of the major ideas and efficiencies will come from the people who are doing the work. So I try to keep that type of work environment, you know, and just want people to be there and happy with what they do. The fact that I have to, basically, my position is more or less a policeman position in the company, it sometimes is very challenging because no one wants to hear you can't do. So you have to always think of creative ways to, number one, get what we need for the company so that our records and all that are straight, and at the same time be able to satisfy the business line that to get their request done. You know, they make the money. It's my job to try to make sure that we keep the money. So therefore, it's a matter of a lot of give and take. And I pride myself on being a people person. Sometimes, yeah, you're misunderstood because of the role I do have, and sometimes people will get that mixed up with who I am. Once they, so therefore you have that battle, you have that struggle. So it's a constant reinforcement. It's a constant bringing people in to see what you do, and also at the same time visiting them so that they can understand your expectations. So really it makes it very challenging for me and rewarding, because I do feel that, you know, you won't win them all, but you just have to just get up and constantly try to make sure that you are doing the best that you can do. And we are service oriented, so we do want to satisfy our clients and our customers.
You know, you mentioned the fact that oftentimes you meet with your peers. Give us some idea in terms of the organizational structure of such a global organization. That is, we've got a minute coming up here, but this will give us an opportunity to get into the beginning of the next segment. But what we'd like to have is some idea in terms of the organizational structure and the reporting kind of responsibilities everywhere from the members of your group. See, because you've already given us some idea in terms of your team, and we can assume that these other folks have the same kind of activities and et cetera in their team, you see. But I want to see all those, your peers together, and then how you relate to the group that might be above you, and how that group relates to the big group, which I would imagine is a group that is known as the board of directors or whatever, and et cetera. But really, I think that is how I think that in what you've done, you've given us excellent information in terms of what you do and what your peers do. But we want to know how the group reacts among one another and how you respond to folks to let everybody know that everybody has somebody who's in charge of them. I think essentially that's what we're trying to do. And of course, we'll end this segment, and we'll be back after